Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tim Steele. I am professor and chair of the Department of Microbiology and Immunology here at Des Moines University. I'm also director of the military elective that we offer to our students, and a former military veteran myself, mid-1970s and in the Coast Guard. And I want to welcome you here today. Welcome to all of you, this promotion ceremony. Recognizing those soon-to-be graduates of DMU who will be going into the military for their residency and service to our country. I would now ask that you please stand for the singing of our national anthem, proudly sung by the Des Moines University Choir.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you to the DMU Choir for the singing of the national anthem. I would now like to recognize some honored guests at this ceremony. If you are a member of the Des Moines University Board of Trustees, please stand to be recognized. Thank you very much. Please stand and be recognized if you are a Des Moines University alumnus. Please stand and be recognized if you are a veteran, if you've ever served in the military. Thank you for your service. Please stand if you are both a DMU alumnus and a veteran. There we go. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. We would like to give special recognition to our 50-year reunion veterans. 50-year reunion veterans. Most of which are actually all of which are from the College of Osteopathic Medicine class of 1966 and served either in the U.S. Army Medical Corps or the Navy. Please stand and be recognized. Okay. Amen. This includes Captain Fred Katz, Captain Joel Lieb, Captain Cherry Schwartz, Captain Michael Stein, all of which were in the U.S. Army Medical Corps, and Lieutenant Alan Rode, who's in the Navy. Thank you. I would now like to show about a 4-minute video that highlights and illustrates some aspects of military medicine.
On the battlefield, every second counts.
Need more people for Lindenberg!
Here is where the military health system comes together to make the difference between life and death. This is where military medicine begins. In a single decade from some of the most austere places on Earth, we have built a lifeline that stretches thousands of miles. A lifeline that moves ill and injured service members from the point of injury to combat hospitals en route back home to the United States.
Blood pressure is 91/55.
Every step of the way, we deliver critical care. This remarkable health system of Army, Navy, and Air Force medical personnel cares for soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, and all who come in harm's way.
What we're doing today is digital subtraction angiography to evaluate the blood supply.
It's joint, it's integrated, it's impressive, and produced the highest survival rates in the history of warfare. But this is just one part of the military health system. The military health system is also a health delivery system. 57 hospitals, over 400 clinics around the globe. More than 9 million Americans who are military members, their families, and retirees count on us, and we deliver. Each year, over 50,000 babies, over 50 million prescriptions filled, rehabilitation, recovery. The military health system is also a medical education system. Each year, the Uniformed Services University produces over 300 military physicians and specialized medical leaders. And our medical education and training campus turns out over 26,000 medical enlisted personnel from every branch of service. We're also an integrated healthcare plan with a global network of care. We partner with civilian doctors and hospitals to deliver the promise we make to those who serve and their families. The military health system is also a public health system. Our military medical labs around the world conduct surveillance to detect and stop the spread of disease and to ensure the safety of the environment. The military health system is a national leader in medical research, collaborating with science and academia, bringing life-saving products to the battlefield and to every American.
Eyes blink, pupils dilate.
Simulated patients, life-saving blood clotting products, mind-controlled prosthetics, new vaccines, laboratory-grown skin, arm transplants.
It's like I went back 4 years and I'm me again.
Our research improves health, speeds recovery, transforms the practice of medicine.
The massive earthquake and tsunami that rocked Japan.
And we are a global force for good, responding to disasters and humanitarian crises whenever we are called, and building capabilities in our partner nations, floating hospitals, medical supplies, transport. It's joint, it's integrated, it's impressive. We're like no other health system in the world, and we're increasing our engagement with federal health partners, including the Department of Veterans Affairs, bringing Army, Navy, and Air Force medical capabilities together. This remarkable system exists for a primary mission, to ensure every service member, whether active or reserve, is ready. A system focused on health more than health care. A medical force ready to respond, ready to repair both the visible and the invisible wounds of war. A unifying mission, personal courage, and selfless sacrifice. Integrated care, world-class results. It's joint, it's integrated, it's impressive. We even make house calls, anywhere, anytime, like no one else. This is the military health system.
So for the pinning ceremony, I will invite each graduate from a specific branch of the services to the stage individually. And following pinning, I would ask that they would return to their seats. After the last officer is pinned, all newly promoted officers from that branch will come back to the floor. At that time, the oath of office will be administered to the group. A commissioned officer must administer the oath of office to the newly confirmed physician. at their new rank and swear them in to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. As such, each newly commissioned physician officer becomes an agent of the executive branch of the government appointed by the President. The pinning of the rank is a visible sign of this appointment and of the commitment made by the officer to both their health profession and our country. Please maintain proper decorum and respect as we proceed with the ceremony. The oath of office will be administered to the Army by Colonel Leonard Kerr, United States Army, DO class of 1995. The oath of office will be administered to the Navy and the Air Force by Commander Scott Fackrell, United States Navy, DO class of 1980. I'd like to begin by calling up the Army. I would like to invite to the stage Michael C. Bennett. Michael Bennett's spouse is Kara Hodge. Pinning Michael today will be Kara Hodge, his wife, and Matthew McIvor, Staff Sergeant Matthew McIvor. Other guests include Darrell and Joni Bennett, his parents. Michael will be pursuing an emergency medicine residency at Madigan Army Medical Center, located on Joint Base Lewis McChord in Tacoma, Washington. Congratulations, Captain Bennett. I would now like to call to the floor Kyle Bachman. Pinning Kyle will be his spouse, Chelsea Bachman. Kyle will be pursuing an orthopedics residency at William Beaumont Army Medical Center in El Paso, Texas. Congratulations, Captain Bachman. Will Daniel Craig Bothwell please come forward? Daniel's significant other is Ellen McEwen, and he will be pinned by Major Don Bothwell, his father, U.S. Army retired. Other guests include his mother, Gretchen Bothwell, his grandfather, Dathan Kerber, Aunt Marjorie Lewis, Aunt Heidi Tortoreese, and Aunt Kirby Kerber. Daniel will be pursuing a family medicine residency at the Womack Army Medical Center in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Congratulations, Captain Bothwell. I would now like to call forward Joshua Boucher. His spouse is Lindsay Boucher, and pinning him will be retired Master Sergeant David Boucher, his father. Other guests include Ethan and Emmett, his sons, and parents Darlene Boucher and Chris Kuster. Joshua will be spending a transitional year at Dwight D. Eisenhower Army Medical Center in Fort Gordon, Georgia. Congratulations, Captain Boucher. I would now like to call forward Sam Grasso. Sam's spouse is Catherine Grasso, and she will be doing the pinning. Guests include an awesome and supportive family. I would assume that's the rest of you. I don't know. Sam will be pursuing a transitional internship at William Beaumont Army Medical Center in El Paso, Texas. Congratulations, Captain Grasso. I would now like to call forward Laci Henagar. Laci's husband is Justin Henagar, who will be doing the pinning. Other guests include parents Mike and Paula Strobush and Tim and Brenda Plummer. In-laws Randy and Teresa Henagar, grandparents Lyle and Dorothy Hughes, and grandparents Larry and Donna Radke. Laci will be doing a transitional year in San Antonio, Texas. Congratulations, Captain Henagar. I would now like to call forward Robert Langan. Robert's spouse is Jennifer Langan. The pinning will be done by his grandmother, Lucille Langan. Guests include parents Rose and Dan Smith. Robert will be pursuing a transitional year at Madigan Army Medical Center in Tacoma, Washington. Congratulations, Captain Langan. I would now like to call forward Richard Poirier. Pinning Richard this afternoon is retired Captain Richard V. Poirier, his father. Guests include his mother Jane, his brother Robert, his sisters Sarah and Claire, his aunt Ellen, and the grandparents Bob and Lorraine. Richard will be pursuing internal medicine residency at Madigan Army Medical Center in Tacoma, Washington. Congratulations, Captain Poirier. I would now like to call forward Matthew Purdy. Matthew's significant other is Dalam Key. Penny will be his father, James Purdy. Other guests include his mother, Marilyn, and he will be pursuing an internal medicine residency at William Beaumont Army Medical Center in El Paso, Texas. Congratulations, Captain Purdy. I would now like to call forward Blair Roadhouse. Blair's spouse is Caitlin Roadhouse. The pinning will be done by his father, Brent Roadhouse. Other guests include his parents, Carlene Roadhouse, children Brock, Jet, and Raylyn, Bryce and Brita Roadhouse, his brother and sister-in-law, Brian and Kelsey Hillier, brother and sister-in-law, and Clayton and Christina Curtis, brother and sister-in-law. Blair will be pursuing a transitional year at Madigan Army Medical Center in Tacoma, Washington. Congratulations, Captain Roadhouse. I would now like to call forward Winston Turnage. Winston will be pinned by his parents, Pamela and David Turnage. Other guests include his siblings, Aubrianne and Jillian Turnage. Winston will be pursuing a dermatology residency at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. Congratulations, Captain Turnage. I would now like to call forward the Army.
I, state your name, have been appointed as an officer in the Army of the United States in the grade of captain.
I've been appointed as an officer in the Army of the United States in the grade of captain.
And I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies.
The Constitution of the United States against all enemies.
Foreign and domestic.
Foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office.
The duties of the office.
Upon which I am about to enter.
Upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Please be seated. I would now like to call up the Navy. Let's go. Starting with Nick Blonyan. Nick will be pinned by Lieutenant Alan Rose, D.O., from the class of 1966. Other guests include his parents, Steve and Carol, as well as siblings John and Kate. Nick will be pursuing a transitional internship at the Naval Medical Center in San Diego, California. Congratulations, Lieutenant Blanian. I would now like to call forward Matthew Michael Justice. Michael's significant other is Stacy Justice, and he will be pinned by Michael Justice, his father. Other guests include his mother, Susie, and he will be pursuing a traditional rotating internship at Mountain View Regional Medical Center in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Congratulations, Lieutenant Justice. I would now like to call up Craig Phillip Schreiber. Craig will be pinned by his father, Fred Schreiber, and other guests include his mother, Lillian, and his brother, Carl. Craig will be pursuing a neurosurgery residency at the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. Congratulations, Lieutenant Schreiber. I would now like to call up the Navy to receive their oath.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name.
I, Craig Schreiber,
have been appointed an officer of the Navy of the United States
appointed an officer of the Navy of the United States
in the grade of lieutenant,
in the grade of lieutenant,
and I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend
I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States against all enemies,
the Constitution of the United States against all enemies,
foreign and domestic, that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
and
that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Please be seated. I would now like to call up the Air Force. Would Chelsea Bachman please come forward? Chelsea's spouse is Kyle Bachman, and she will be pinned by her father, Gary Kale. Other guests include her mother, Sheila, and Chelsea is pursuing an emergency medicine residency in San Antonio Military Medical Center. Congratulations, Captain Bachman. Would Lindsay Brewster please come forward? Pinning Lindsay will be her mother, Lori Brewster, and her grandfather, retired Lieutenant Colonel Harold Bingaman. Other guests include her father, Richard, and Lindsay is pursuing a family medicine residency at St. Louis University in Belleville, Illinois. Congratulations, Captain Brewster. I would now like to call forward David Ray Garner. David's spouse is Erin Garner, who will also be doing the pinning. Other guests include his children, Emma, Maggie, and Lily, as well as parents Dr. Ray and Lorianne Garner, as well as in-laws Alan and Julene Smith. David will be pursuing a pediatrics residency at the Geisinger Health System in Danville, Pennsylvania. Congratulations, Captain Garner. I would now like to call up Jameson Hull, please. Jameson's spouse is Laura Hofer, who will also be doing the pinning. Jameson will be pursuing a neurology residency at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. Congratulations, Captain Hofer. I would now like to call up Madison Parrington. Madison will be pinned by her stepfather, Tristan McCollum. Other guests include her father, Ron Parrington, her mother, Shelley Shaw, grandmother, Millie Parrington, and also grandmother, Norma Shaw. Madison will be pursuing a psychiatry residency in San Antonio Military Medical Center. Congratulations, Captain Parrington. I would now like to call up Adam Peterson. Adam's spouse is Allison Zindel, and pinning will be his mother, Tammy Collier. Other guests include his father, Mark Peterson, stepmother, Shannon Peterson, stepfather, Bob Collier, brother, Caleb, brother, Derek Peterson, and sister, Allison Peterson. Adam will be pursuing a urological surgery residency at Michigan State University at the Detroit Metropolitan Campus. Congratulations, Captain Peterson. I would now like to call forward Janine Wedding. Janine's spouse is Derek Wedding, who will be doing the pinning. Other guests include daughter Margot and mother Jill McKean. Janine will be pursuing a transitional year at the Firelands Regional Medical Center in Sandusky, Ohio. Congratulations, Captain Wedding. I would now like to ask the United States Air Force to come forward, please, to receive the oath.
Thanks, Lieutenant. Raise your hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I,
Having been appointed an officer in the Air Force of the United States.
Having been appointed an officer in the Air Force of the United States.
In the grade of captain.
In the grade of captain.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation.
That I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
The duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You may be seated. Congratulations, Captain.
Please be seated. As we prepare to conclude, I would like to thank you for attending this promotion ceremony, and I would like to take a moment to recognize some distinguished guests, that being Des Moines University President Angela Walker Franklin, our Provost Karen McLean, Dr. Karen McLean, and the Interim Dean of the College of Osteopathic Medicine, Dr. Brett Ripley. I'd also like to thank Chris Moore, who did yeoman's duty in putting the ceremony together and herding all the cats sometimes required to do such a thing. He's the manager of student life and engagement, and he helped prepare the ceremony. Also want to thank Information Tech Services Systems with the audio-visual needs today. Definitely appreciate that. A special note of thanks goes to Staff Sergeant Aaron Dondo and the United States Air Force for helping us to sponsor some of the cost of our event today. Officer graduates, please stand and turn to applaud your family and friends who have supported you in so many ways. I know we are very proud of these men and women who are soon to be graduates. We're sure they're going to represent our school, our profession, and our country. We'll grow even more proud of them as they do so. Let's give them a big hand. So let's give a big hand to the newest batch of officers in the country. To conclude our ceremonies, I would like to invite Dr. Fackrell to the stage to officially discharge the officers.
Thanks for having me. I never thought I'd be back here 36 years later. Unlike these wonderful people today, I was on the Better Late Than Never program. I was commissioned as I was quickly closing in on my 58th birthday. I could tell you how proud I am of that, but it always makes me cry, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to ask all of the current and former U.S. military members to stand and come to attention, please. Attention to orders. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and professional ability of these officers who have willingly responded to the call of duty. In view of these qualities and his or her demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he or she is therefore promoted to their new rank effective 27 May 2016 by the order of the Secretary of the respective services. General George Patton once said it was a proud privilege to be a soldier, a good soldier with discipline, self-respect, pride in his or her unit and in his or her country, a high sense of duty and obligation to comrades and to your superiors, and a self-confidence born of demonstrated abilities. General Patton said, I also believe there is a higher privilege, a privilege to take care of those fellow comrades and soldiers, to treat and heal both of them and the enemy with the same compassion and respect owing to the human dignity, to bring them back to their wives and husbands and mothers and fathers and sons and daughters. A military physician is the amalgamation of two of the highest callings, military service and medicine. Go forth, serve your country, serve your brothers and sisters in arms, and serve humankind by alleviating their suffering. May God grant you safety, security, and wisdom in both of their missions. Congratulations. Dismissed.
Please join us for a reception in the classroom just next door in Lecture Hall 3, please.